At the last round of the AMSOIL Grand National Cross Country Series, it looked like a battle of who could out-punch each other, as Bryson Neal and Adam McGill waged war for the lead. But ultimately, it was the race strategy of Walker Fowler that allowed him to get around his rivals and take his third straight win to begin the season. He's up for 4 this time. It's round 4 of the AMSOIL Grand National Cross Country Series, the venerable FMF Steele Creek GNCC from Morganton, North Carolina, not too far from Asheville. These beautiful mountains and great trails have hosted GNCC racing for 20 years. I'm Jason Wygant on hand to give you the call. This is all brought to you by Maxxis, riders competing for an AMA National Championship. We'll give you the AMSOIL race recap of last week's event. The Maxxis Cannonball from Sparta, Georgia. Adam McGill on board here with him. He gets the whole shot in the early lead. Has 6-time GNCC champ Chris Borich right behind him here on the yellow Suzuki. Decent start for series points leader Walker Fowler. Bad start for Bryson Neal, but Neal would go from 10th all the way to 1st, completed by making this move on McGill for the #1 spot. And then the young man from Pennsylvania would start to pull away, leading McGill, Borich, Fowler, and Jared McClure here in 5th, fighting for 2nd. Now watch the right side of your screen. Great line by Fowler to go from 4th to the #2 spot, and he would keep that line tucked away in his back pocket. He would eventually track down Neal and engage him in a battle for the lead, and then he would use this line again. You see him on the left side now to get around. Difficult to get through that ditch, completely filled with mud and just straight up and straight down the walls, but Fowler is able to negotiate it, take advantage, and get the lead. 3 straight wins to start this season. Undefeated so far. We'll look at the results from that race, brought to you by Rocky Mountain ATV MC Neal, who led most of it, ended up 4th. Let's talk to him.
Man, what ended up happening was my spindle got bent downwards, and I had play in my caliper and I lost pressure. So whenever I went to grab my front brakes, I didn't have anything. And boom, over a berm I went into a tree. By the time I get up, get my tether plugged back in, Jared's around me. Then Borich, he gets me in the field because he outbrakes me because I ain't got no front brakes. So, I mean, it sucked, you know, but we got 4th. It could have been a DNF. I could have broke steering flag or broke something my front end, not even finished. But, man, we're this coastal racing machine. It's really getting close. If we get a good start at this tight track tomorrow, hopefully get out front, we're going to make this happen here soon.
Well, if it happens, we'll have a great view. Bryson Neal on the coastal racing machine carrying our onboard camera today, and we're ready to go racing. Big battle down to the first turn. Marty Christofferson trying to bump and bang everybody on the #8. And he and Borich banged into each other enough to clear the way for Adam McGill. So the official Weisco Whole Shot Award goes to Borich. McGill now to the lead, though, and Fowler, I don't even know where he came from, is 2nd and now into 1st. Oh, McGill not giving it to him, though. It's a drag race, a duel in the woods, and I cannot believe they didn't tag those trees. If there's any doubt of the skills of these riders to dodge that stuff, and also the intensity of the opening laps of a GNCC race, well, there's all the proof you need. These guys were going for it. And Neal mentioned in that interview this track is a little bit tighter than some of the ones we've had earlier this season, so the start a little more important. And that's why Fowler and McGill were not willing to give each other an inch, even in a 2-hour race, which will take about 50 total. We'll give you the view from Neal's helmet cam. Watch Walker Fowler there on the left with the blue and green gear, the #1. Look at some of the passes he made to sneak his way through, while Neal ends up getting a little bit buried back here. And there's Fowler already into the #1 spot, just edged out again by McGill. But all this bumping and banging back here for Neal. McGill and Fowler able to get around that. Brent Sturdivant here in the 149 gets in front of Neal before he heads into the woods. So Neal will have his work cut out for him on this track. Going to show you the XC2 class off the line here. This is considered the next generation of GNCC stars. Cameron Bruce on 427 looked to have the whole shot. He ends up getting bumped wide, and Matthew Lindell will grab the $100 All Balls Racing Whole Shot Award. Also want to watch Devin Feehan and Hunter Hart, some of the contenders in this one. Young riders coming through the ranks, and they're off and rolling and into the woods. Back on board with Adam McGill, who has now relinquished that spot to Fowler. They have been going at it and really pushing the envelope. You don't normally see it this intense early in a GNCC. These two really want to beat each other.
When it comes to guarding your diesel engine, AMSOIL offers the next level performance you demand. AMSOIL Signature Series diesel oils provide 6 times more wear protection than required by a leading diesel engine manufacturer. Give your hard-working truck the protection it deserves. AMSOIL, devoted to protection. See the whole line of diesel products at amsoil.com/diesel.
As riders and racers, we understand the need to get quality parts, apparel, and accessories fast. We have the horsepower of multiple warehouses to make sure your gear, OEM parts, or accessories make it to your door quickly. Check out our easy-to-use website and experience customer service that takes the whole shot. RockyMountainATVMC.com. Get ready.
Here he is, Walker Fowler, Grand National Cross Country XC1 Pro Class Champion.
The GNCC series on the NBC Sports Network is brought to you by AMSOIL. Protect your weekend. Rocky Mountain ATVMC, get ready. And by Maxxis Tires, keeps you riding to your maximum potential.
Here's the highlights from our bike race here from Steele Creek. Good to see Josh Strang, the popular Australian, back in action. A foot injury earlier this year, gets the whole shot. Caleb Russell, your defending series champ, is quickly around. His main pursuer this year has been Thad Duvall. He gets up to second, and Duvall will push Russell again. Duvall finished second at the previous 2 races. He does not want to finish second 3 in a row. He gives it everything he has to keep Russell in sight, but he's not able to find a way around. Caleb Russell, 3 straight victories. Stuart Baylor edged him for the win in round 1. Russell has won every one since. And yes, Thad Duvall on the Rockstar Husqvarna is going to have to settle for second place 3 weeks in a row. So the factory FMF KTM rider Russell takes it, and there's Baylor up on the podium in third. He's had a very solid, consistent season. But right now, they're all trying to figure out a way to solve Caleb Russell on the 2-wheeled machines, just like they're all trying to figure out how to solve Walker Fowler on 4 wheels. And that's the rider right in front here. You can see Adam McGill with a helmet cam, trying to catch back up to Fowler. Nice line down here. Let's see if it pays off. I think it did. All right, so Adam McGill saying, today's the day. I want this one. That was a very tricky line, but he was able to negotiate it and get the spot. You see Fowler has picked up the pace, and Boric as well. And there's Bryson Neal, so he's worked his way up to 4th. Oh, and Jared McClure, as he always does, just lurking around 4th or 5th. He'll save his best for last. Under the Steele Creek Bridge, and you can hear the fans. They're loving this effort from McGill. Pulling away a bit from Fowler. And then there's Boric, the 6-time champion, lurking. Neal and McClure. McGill backed by CST Induction Solutions, Spider Graphics, and LSR, known as Lone Star Racing, leading Fowler, who's got his own factory-backed Yamaha team this year. And it's Boric on the Maxxis Suzuki, Coastal Racing's Neal, and then McClure coming through. Now, Neal had that bad start. Here's how difficult it is to get up to the number 4 spot. I'll show you earlier in the race. First, he's got to get around Brent Sturdivant. Thread the needle through those trees and those ruts. Here's another technique, watch this. Telling Marty Christopherson, yelling, let him know he's there. And that convinces Christopherson to maybe go 90% through that section instead of 100. And Neal able to pass him. Heading into the pits for the first time today, McGill continues to lead. Fowler second. I think they've settled in now, not quite as aggressive as they were early in the woods. And McClure still lurking in fifth. That's what he does. That's why they call him the sneaky snake. Last week he was in that same spot and ended up finishing the race in second. McGill starting to let it fly here, and Fowler just experimenting, and that line did not work out at all. Take you through this one. I think Fowler knows he's going to sit in second for a while and try to figure out some passing zones for later, and now he knows this one is not going to work. And that allows McGill to get further away. Well, tragic news here on the GNCC side. Chris and Cody Gregg. Cody, a very popular GNCC bike racer. He and his father were killed in a motorhome accident driving to our previous event in Georgia. And the entire GNCC community came out to support that family in what would have been their home race. Godspeed to Chris and Cody Gregg.
GNCC is Old Eagle 50 cal, cowboy boots, diesel trucks, Copenhagen, Bush Light kind of men.
Evans waterless coolant is the solution to boiling over, so you can push your vehicle like this, and this, and this, without fearing the temperature gauge. Evans waterless coolant. Defeat the heat.
Hey guys, I'm Tim Geiser riding for Honda Garibaldi Racing Team, and we are using Evans cooling, and I know that when I use that products, I know that my bike never will overheat, so I'm really happy with it.
Are you looking for a dirt bike piston that can increase power and decrease blow-by? Then check out Wiseco's all-new Racer Elite piston line. Racer Elite has been used exclusively by the pros, including RCH, Yoshimura, Suzuki Factory Racing, and are now accessible to the public. Available for popular 250 and 450cc dirt bikes, the Racer Elite series is the first off-the-shelf asymmetrical power sports piston ever made. Its fully machined billet aluminum construction features an exclusive custom lap top ring. Step up with dyno-proven power gains with Wiseco's Racer Elite piston line.
Earlier in our show, we showed you the ATV XC2 ranks. This kid, Hunter Hart, learning as quickly as he can, racing both bikes and ATVs every weekend.
2015, I started racing bike and quads and the GNCCs. I mean, it's definitely taxing. It's hard on the body, but I mean, big dinner on Saturday night, lots of sleep, and then just don't do a whole lot before the race, and then just go. I mean, the quad's my main focus. I put 90% of my effort into that, and I mean, I spend all my time training for that and riding that, and then the bike's just kind of something I do for fun on Sundays. And it's interesting when you go from being one of the top 10 guys at ATV day, and then you're like 100th overall on Sunday. It's definitely an adjustment when you've got Caleb, Russell, and those guys flying by. It's a little scary. After my bike race, I drink Mountain Dew, I watch a movie in the RV on the way home, and I sleep the whole way home from like 5 o'clock till about 8 a.m. the next morning.
And Hunter's been on the GNCC radar since he was winning GNCC youth ATV races, and always told me, last name Hart, born on Valentine's Day. He'll be up there battling with these guys probably within a few years. This is Neal trying to get around Boric. And Boric actually waves him by. Don't normally see that from him, so Boric might be having a problem. So Neal is finally up to third. But a long way to go to catch these two. Boric had lost quite a bit of ground. And it is a one-on-one duel, but Neal is bridging that gap, charging hard right now. Through the trees we go. Adam McGill is company now. He has to deal with both Fowler and look at Neal. Already beginning to look for lines to pass Fowler, so not intimidated at all. This could be another chance for McGill to get away if Fowler and Neal really battle it out for second. This Steele Creek track, you get a little idea with the helmet cam. It's so rutted. You have to be so precise. You cannot put, oh, and Fowler! That's what I'm talking about. You've got to put the machine exactly where you want it. We've been racing here for so long. The bumps and the lines are so defined. If you miss them by even 6 inches or so, you're in the trees, or you're getting high centered, or you're hitting the wrong bumps. Fowler found something there and was able to get into the #1 spot. So this is a dangerous part of the race. If you're McGill and Neal, you've got to keep him within sight. And you know that Fowler is going to try to throw it down right now through the fields and open up the gap, try to break their spirits. And Neal has spent a ton of energy. Hey, we appreciate that wiping the helmet camera. Neal has spent a ton of energy trying to make some of those passes. Here we are, pit stop time for Fowler. No, he kept going. Neal doesn't stop either, so Fowler has given up second to go off strategy on pit cycles. We'll see if that pays off, if he can get close on this lap. And then Fowler and Neal have to tuck in. He might be able to go right back around them. So Bryson Neal, a lot of the work is done. He's climbed all the way up to second from about 6th place. But he only has the hardest task in the sport now to deal with. You see the fans cheering him on. You've got to keep Walker Fowler in sight. And when Fowler has an open racetrack, not easy to do. Look at McGill, not that far back considering that he pitted. Let's show you the pass. Fowler has something up his sleeve. It's the long way around, but it's a little bit smoother line, and he's able to just hit the corner harder. Those bumps, they unsettle the machine for McGill, and Fowler's in the #1 spot. Here's what it looks like on board. And again, those ruts and those holes were just too deep for McGill to maintain the momentum. And that's what makes this course so difficult. It doesn't have the biggest hills, ups and downs. They're pretty good. But the mud, the hill climbs, not the worst on this track. It's really the roughness of the soil, the bumps, the holes, the ruts. That's what separates them here. And in fact, we've now heard that Chris Borich, who was in 3rd earlier, has had some front shock problems and had to stop in the pits for an adjustment. So he continues to lose ground on this very rough race course. And Fowler, is he opening it up just a bit? Indeed he is. And Neal is under pressure from McGill. So I think the pit strategy might work out in McGill's favor. Oh, there's the sneaky snake. Jared McClure just hanging around, ready to strike on the final lap. We've got McGill chasing Neal here. Such good stuff. Battle is on for second, and it might be for the lead once McGill gets through the pits, and Fowler has to stop. Stay with us.
Are you looking for a dirt bike piston that can increase power and decrease blow-by? Then check out Wiseco's all-new Racer Elite piston line. Racer Elite has been used exclusively by the pros, including RCH, Yoshimura, Suzuki Factory Racing, and are now accessible to the public. Available for popular 250 and 450cc dirt bikes, the Racer Elite series is the first off-the-shelf asymmetrical power sports piston ever made. Its fully machined billet aluminum construction features an exclusive custom lap top ring. Step up with dyno-proven power gains with Wiseco's Racer Elite piston line.
We handle your races, your jumps, and your trails. Isn't it time you give your daily driver the same love? AMSOIL's Signature Series Synthetic Motor Oil delivers 75% more engine protection against horsepower loss and wear than required by a leading industry standard. AMSOIL also offers a full family of ATV, UTV lubricants, giving you above and beyond fortification for your weekday and weekend vehicles. AMSOIL, devoted to protection.
Even when you're the best, you never stop striving to be better. The all-new from the ground up 2018 Yamaha YZ450F is now available at LoJack Cycle Sales. With over 40 years of experience in motorcycle sales and service and 15 national championships, we know racing. So stop by LoJack Cycle Sales today in Tarentum, Pennsylvania, and visit our online inventory at www.lojacks.com. Yamaha YZ. It's why we ride.
Over the river and through the woods, the newest Polaris models are here for the holidays. Take home great deals on the world's best-selling side-by-sides and ATVs during the Polaris Holiday Sales Event.
The GNCC series on the NBC Sports Network is brought to you by AMSOIL. Protect your weekend. Rocky Mountain ATV MC, get ready. And by Maxxis Tires. Keeps you riding to your maximum potential.
Look at this. Motocross legend, North Carolina's own Damon Bradshaw on hand to race here at Steele Creek in an ambassador role with Gas and having fun in the woods.
Just to survive, you know, that's really the goal, and whatever comes out of it I'll be happy with, like I said, but I'm competitive, you know, I want to win, and that's always going to be there, but I just have to be smart today, and you know, it's brand new suspension. I haven't even done a lap on this suspension, so I have no idea. So it's all going to be a guess.
Yeah, Damon started dabbling in some off-road racing last year. Kind of learned the dead engine start, though. He's used to coming off of a starting gate. And then he gets jammed up here in the first turn. Was not able to pull the 1989 Miami 125 Supercross mega comeback on the number 45 this time. Bradshaw had some problems and was unable to finish, but he'll be back. Some more races later this season. Awesome to see Damon Bradshaw back in the North Carolina woods where it all started for him. Bryson Neal, second place in this ATV race, still trying to track Walker Fowler, and look at this jam up. Lap traffic everywhere. Neal looking for an alternate line. There aren't any. So they're all trying to tiptoe their way through this bottleneck. Fowler finally able to break free, but he's bringing Bryson. No, I thought he's bringing Neal with him. Neal is now hung up too. Just trying to plow his way through this ridge line. There's nothing you can do. You've got to go across the top. It's almost a cliff on both sides. And McGill able to sneak through as well. So Neal was not able to take the lead from Fowler, but I will say I think he definitely gained some time. So Fowler is really putting the hammer down now to pull it back out. And he has done so, opening it right back up. And I believe, yeah, Neal does not have goggles on. So he's going to have to deal with McGill and McClure. I want to show you the replay of this section again, this time from McGill's angle, right behind Neal. So this is third place. You see the trail drops off to the left and right, so you have to go straight through the middle. I like this. Watch the hand signals here as Neal and McGill try to find an alternate line and try to communicate. There's nothing there. Here is Fowler into the pits. That's his dad there filling the tank, his mechanic, Mark Notman, giving him the goggles. He's in and out quite efficiently. And the lead is big enough to where we still have not seen second place come into the pits. That is amazing. There's Neal. We know he needs goggles, and we know McGill pitted on the previous lap, so McGill goes by into second. You hear Neal revving that machine out, that Yamaha getting in and out. He's got some work to do. And Fowler is doing work, as they say. Great battle for the number one spot with McGill earlier. Wondering if McGill could make ground up by not pitting that previous lap. He has made up some ground, but not enough to keep the pressure on. And of course, Jared McClure sticking right there, as he always does. Now in a podium position in third, but don't count him out to go for second. And he's won a couple of these things before as well. And poor Bryson Neal, all the work he had to do to make up for the bad start, has to do it all again. Oh, and you can tell he is going really fast right now, going for it. Wait a minute. Was that McClure on the side of the trail? I think it was. So McClure, who is, as usual, putting himself in position for a late charge, has apparently run into some mechanical problems, and he is broken down on the side, and this one is over. 4 for 4 to start the season for Walker Fowler. Wow. Rocky Mountain ATVMC.com results. Neal does inherit third, Borich fourth. Nice job, Johnny Gallagher, taking fifth. Here's your winner.
Yeah, 4 in a row. This is a milestone for my career. I've never done this before, so pretty stoked. This place had a curse on it forever. Last year we broke it, and I don't know what it is, but again, this year I got some really good luck. Once I had clear track, I just put my head down and rode like I knew how to ride, but I know McGill had some mechanical issues, so I'll take this win and we'll move on.
Yeah, we now hear McGill was having some engine problems down the stretch, still held on for second. Here's your AMSOIL race recap. Christopherson and Borich bumping and banging around for the number 1 spot. That would actually let McGill sneak through. He was in a battle with Fowler. He lost a lead. He gets it back here with a nice charge to the center of the roughest part of the track. Then Fowler goes around the outside. This time the rough stuff didn't work for McGill, and that puts Fowler in the lead. Bryson Neal, Jared McClure all in contention. A bunch of them got stuck together with lap traffic and some of our amateur riders on the hill climb. Fowler breaks free and goes on to take his 4th win in 4 races this year. That's the AMSOIL race recap. Here's second place.
Yeah, what can you say? It was a good day. Had a decent start, I think. I don't know where we was when we actually crossed the line, but I know he was up towards the front. Me and Walker was banging a bump of wheels, and it was a good time. And I mean, it is what it is. We started, I think we had a stator breaking down or something in the quad there at the end. It was really popping and cracking bad. And I'm really surprised we were able to hold on to second, to be honest with you. But I mean, finally, it feels good to be back. I'm riding to potential, and I feel better. And my training's good, so thanks Haley for my training. And it's been an interesting day for sure.
Well, interesting weekend for the double classer. Young Hunter Hart, he takes 3rd in the GNCC XC2 class behind Devin Feeham and Matt Lindell. Great racing with them. Maybe someday they'll challenge this guy, Walker Fowler, still on top.